Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time, but then it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. If you touch and breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace up her presents and gifts. Call me Santa. Claus, I make her heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and cut you. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing
touching and kissing, make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, welcome back. What's going on? Good to see you all. I hope everybody's doing fine. Everybody's doing well. Let me just check the audio, make sure everything is good so we can get to it. Let's see. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. What's going on, everybody? Are you all right? All right, welcome, 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 welcome. This story is this is a very passionate story for a lot of you. Okay, so I do have some questions. Okay, I have some questions, but before we get into the questions around, Stella Damasus is now a marriage coach. I think she's attempted to do that for so many years. As a matter of fact, seen the attempt. I never really believed, just off of their vibe. There was a disconnect as far as I was concerned, from what she was trying to deliver, and particularly the disconnect was more visible between her and the dude, Daniel Ademinokon. Daniel is now remarried to some young lady called Tokwe Oshin Ogun. That's what we're finding out. Shout out to Auntie B. I was just on Auntie B's platform chopping it up with people over there. They brought me some smoke. I appreciated the smoke. I appreciate it. That's how we learn. All right. So with that being said, though, before we get into that, I definitely there's a breaking news. There's a breaking news, and I want to talk about that first before we dive into the Stella stuff. There's some other videos too I might want to review from very, very, very old of Stella and Ademinokon, Daniel Ademinokon, some of their old interviews. Maybe we can find some additional truth in that, but we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. There's a lot of information that we don't know. So even while I was trying to ask Auntie B did not give me the answers I needed. She gave me indirectly. I was able to kind of read between the lines. I get it. She's more concerned about karma, just exactly as I predicted. But okay, another way of saying it may be accountability. Let's say it a different way. On your coffee break, shout out to you. She said, it's she's not holding herself accountable. All right, granted. Okay, so with that being said, there's more to the conversation, though. As you know, the more to the conversation is what I like to dig in through. Okay, that's what I like to talk about. Like, what are the in-betweens? What are the things we can pick up from the facts that we know, right? So, and funny enough, I actually, I there's a little bit more, but we just found out, that let's cover this really quickly. We just found out that reportedly that May Edochie has reportedly sued Yul Edochie and Judy Austin. She's demanding 100 million naira in damages or more. 100 million naira. How much is that at this point? Is that like $1 million? Yes, we just find that out right now. So I wanted to maybe take about 5 to 10 minutes to see what Daddy Freeze is talking about, because I just literally stumbled into it in my feed, and then maybe we can cover it another time, because I really do want to get back to this Stella stuff. Hey, Akoleto, Woto. Tonight, Toby, I know you were rooting for me, but it's okay. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I love the smoke. All right. But thank you, Toby. You seem like you really understood where I was coming from. You and Adewale completely shied away from engaging, because it was like, I'm not sure if the environment is conducive for my questions. which I can understand. Right. So, but let's play this. Let me see what Daddy Freezer. But no, before we get into that, let me do some house rules first of all. House rules. My name is Ola. This is Man of Prestige. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios, and over here we talk about relationships from a power standpoint. Your own power, not karma. Okay, not waiting for karma. I can't help you with that part. Okay, because I don't even know if you are collecting from 4th generations ago. Okay, so I can't help you with karma. I can't help you. The only thing I can help you is what you've got today, how to make the most out of it. Okay, so if you're a Stella today, you've become a divorcee the 3rd time, right? You can tell me your story. I can use your story. Even if you lie to me, I can detect. I won't tell you you're a liar, but I tell you based off of what you're telling me, I will believe you and I will help you what you've got. Okay, because we can easily see it. If you're a Daniel, I can help you today with what you've got today, which is a pattern. Something you're looking for, something. Hopefully you find it in this one. If you're a Tokpa Oshin today, I can help you tell you today. To you to self, you go collect. I can help you tell you that today because listen, patterns is everything. The 3rd time this guy, or the 2nd time, is running away from his wife, just elope. Just from the story, from these allegations, right? Just travel, and then before we know it, you're married to somebody else, including traveling with somebody's baby, yes, that you made with them, but still not nice, right? So I get it, So I can help you. So again, we talk about relationships from your power standpoint. What can you control? What do you have the power to influence? That's what we do here. Okay. We talk about self-power, social intelligence. We're talking about seduction and attraction. Okay. And no, we don't talk about, I don't know, your moral standards, all that kind of stuff. I stay away from it. I don't, oftentimes people cap, they lie. People are liars when it comes to moral standards. They will claim one thing, but they will do something else. Okay?
Why the fuck you lying?
People do that all the time. Some of the people you know the best, they all do it. They're not necessarily lying from a deliberate standpoint. They're just telling themselves stories that make themselves feel better. Case in point, a bunch of people saying comma right now is because it's coming from a personal place. All right. And the truth is that a lot of people are admitting to that, which I am fine with. Okay. But let's just call it what it is, right? If we're going to be objective, we have to deal with the facts that we know. And that's what I'm doing. So granted, I don't know a lot of the backstories, and that's why I'm treading lightly. So maybe you guys will be patient with me as you teach me today on some of the stuff I didn't know. But yeah. So let me see who is here. Uzo. Let me clap for Uzo. Made it here today. Did somebody just tag Uzo just today? Like right now? No. I didn't see her comment yet. Let me see. Let me see. Uzo, are you here? Let me give her a special welcome if she's here. I can't see the chat, by the way. I can't see her chat, but I do see my D Love. I see Toby and Tribe, of course. Shout out to you. I see Patricia is here. Hello. I see Brother Patrick is here. I see Mo Fresh was here early. Good to see you. Of course, D Love is here. Of course, Chinye is here. Of course. All right. And D, of course, D is here. D said, Mr. Olako, let us small, but not notoriously. Listen. The Obodo fan were not having it today. Listen, my points were just ending up in the pot comments. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see. Oh, you were just saying, okay. You were just saying Uzo wasn't having it. I don't think she's here though. No. Uzo is, I think she's always in the back somewhere. But yeah, shout out to you all. Not to hello. Tyru says we're here. Hello, could you write to Tyru? I know some Tyru, by the way. You both listen. Anybody can add up in the quarter, especially with the Obodo fan. But anyway, welcome, Prestige family. I appreciate you. So this 100 million, let's cover that really quickly in about 5 minutes, and then let's see what Daddy Freeze is talking about, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see.
Wala wow.
Wala wa.
100 millions.
Let me see if I can find the actual story.
Hey.
Oh, let's see.
Oh.
Wala wa, wala wa.
100 million.
Wala wa. Hey.
Hey. Oh. 100 million. Yay.
100 million. Oh, dear. Do buy even. I swear.
100 million.
Let's see. I'm looking for Istanbul, Nigeria. There you go. Now that's funny.
100 million.
I'm looking for the actual story now.
100
100 million.
100 million.
How much is 100 million these days?
Hey, Musalo.
I'm looking for the actual story, guys. Let me see if I can find something.
Hey. Matter don't gray ground. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Let me
fast us forward. Maybe we can get to the story.
So no whole new whole remedy blog.
Oh, okay, so another blog is reporting
Na remedy
this.
blog. Remedy blog. Na dem talk Remedy blog. According to the post on the blog, it says May Edochie allegedly sues Yul Edochie and Judy Austin for adultery, demanding 100 million naira in damages.
All right, I think I found a story here.
Hey! Oroilo, this matter is twisted. It has a twist.
Twisting.
No, it's on Remedy blog. See, I don't make it up. Oh. It's on Remedy blog. Now, I'm not a judge, neither am I a lawyer, nor can I claim to be either of those things. But I can tell you from my experience that this matter. Hey,
they will be dragging this in court. If it's true, they will be dragging this in court for a long time.
Jargon. So if you get a lawyer, make person interpret them to you. It says Yul Edochie situation is written by DPA Family Law Clinic. Yul Edochie situation, understanding the reality of it. I have not seen in recent times a case where so much is going on, yet not much is known to the public despite the intense public interest. For the avoidance of doubts, I think I wear my glasses. This matter don't pass my eye, we no clear. Hey! Again, Kogu. If you are watching on TikTok, double click the screen, I'm looking for my number 1 gifter and my number 2 gifter.
They need more skits to cover
that.
They're gonna need more skits. Shout out to all 27 of you watching me live.
I'm missing 50 money gone. No, I want a bun.
I'm missing 18 likes. Gone. Please hit the like button. Let's ping everyone else to the room. Thank you.
For the avoidance of doubts, May Yul Edochie filed a divorce petition against Yul. She also filed against Judy as a party cited. And she is asking for 100
for the lawyers in the house. Is that even possible?
Against Judy for adultery with her husband. Make no mistake about it. Yul and Judy are not husband and wife and cannot be so until Yul.
Toby got it. I'll find it. I think I actually have that already. I'll take a look.
It is a combination of delusion and absurdity for the two to call themselves husband and wife.
Jesus Christ.
Yet, both Judy and Yul are aware of the lawsuit, having received copies of the suit papers by email.
By email, okay. Email bitibawo.
Both Yul and
Judy is not serving, no.
Are avoiding service of the process upon them. The court bailiff has tried so many times to serve them in accordance with the rules of the court, but they have evaded service of court process. Despite the braggadocio and the social media stunts, Edochie and Judy are facing serious legal challenges, and they seem ill-prepared for them, given the fact that they have been evading service of process.
The question I asked, thank you. The question I was asking, is it possible to sue a side chick for adultery? I mean, I guess it's an accomplice, I guess. That's what I was asking. Some people are dancing here. Wow. Okay, both you and you. Like, yeah, is it possible? That's what I mean. Is it, enlighten me on that. I think it's possible. But enlighten me if you know any more on that. I think if you are legally involved in a legal monogamous marriage, adultery is considered to be illegal. Yeah, at least in the family court. Maybe not in family court, but I'm not sure. Let me not talk about what I don't know. Court can order substituted service by email if they evade service. Okay. Well, especially in Nigeria. Over here, if I get I get the order by email from a court, I will just disregard it. Okay, I'm not clicking nothing from a court on an email, anything like that. It could be spam. Like, now it needs to be sent to me by snail mail. But I understand Nigeria might be at only.
In addition to the substantiated petition, May also filed for an order restraining Yul from accessing their former matrimonial home. That application is based on the fact that there are genuine security and safety concerns. Yul's behavior has been erratic,
true,
irrational, aggressive, and increasingly threatening. He seems to have been under some influence, the full extent or scope of which we are yet to ascertain. But the measures are being taken to protect May and her children. These measures are proportionate to the threats. Despite the combination of circumstances at the present time, last weekend, against all advice, Yul attempted to access the home, now occupied alone by May and her children. But he was stopped by the intervention of law enforcement. He was reminded that henceforth, all issues involving his marriage to May and dealings in that regard are sub judice. He should consult his lawyer when and if he hires one, and be guided by such a lawyer. After the event of last weekend, it was not surprising at all to hear that Yul and Judy would be on social media in a comic display where Judy shows Yul with unfettered adulation, I beg your pardon, calling him Odogu, the best in Africa, and fountainhead. It is totally understandable that he would need such extreme ego massage. Hey! Hey, Kimonkai!
Okay.
As the world can attest by now, May is the sharp opposite of Yul and Judy. She is calm, rational, incredibly stoic.
Oh, as a co-respondent, okay.
Despite the emotional losses and suffering she has endured lately, she held to high values of honor and integrity, and remains calm and focused in the face of turbulence. She has earned the respect and admiration of many good people. DPA Family Law Clinic remains committed to supporting her through the storm. Note, May is represented in court by Femi Falana's firm and Eculog Group.
Femi Falana,
Our
wow.
Family Law Clinic plays a support role aside from litigation activities. Hey! Babanla lawyer. Hey! First of all, clap for lawyer.
Wow.
Still hasn't. I swear, if I see May today, I go dobale for her. May, that dobale. I swear, if I see May, still hasn't I swear, if I see May today, I go dobale for him. May that dobale.
See, some of the things that I say here, when I say them, I know it's going to go over the head of many, many, many people until they can relate in some type of way to the knee-jerk reaction methods will not work, right? The applause that I just played was for me. Okay, that was for me. You need to make sure you identify where your power is first before you move. It's usually not in overreaction. Usually you can't source it from the public, okay, or anything on the outside of you. You usually can't source this in like like you have to relax. Yeah, have to ultimately just take your time, you know. That's why prayer, patience goes together. If you are restless and you feel like you need to react to something immediately, just engage prayer. Okay? But your powers are not are much more in your silence, for the most part, than talking. Okay? You're not weak just because you're quiet. Don't see yourself that way. You're not weak. Okay? You just will have enough room to really assess issues and to make sure you are shooting all the way from, how do they say? Is it from the hip? You're shooting all the way from down there, Sha. You're not just gra. What's the English? Somebody help me. Just relax. Okay? You can even use the Stella story. Okay, say, hey, take your time. But you know, Yoruba also, people say kile to poshika. Also, if you are waiting for karma, it's a bad idea. Okay, somebody might have been telling her, just let God. No, I don't agree with let God intervene. Kokon. I like the Femi Falana and Co method. I like that. Okay, I like that better. Nobody is asking you to become a doormat and just be silent and you just become, you know, a silent mugu. I would never ask you to do that. Okay? I would never ask you to do that. Or not speak up when it's necessary. Or not hold your 2 toes down when it's necessary. I'm not asking you not to do it. I just want to make sure that when you're putting your 2 toes down, you're actually standing on something. That's all. Shooting from the hip. Thank you, Patricia. You know, Yoruba also say agbo to fa seyin agbara lo lo mu wa. Like what's agbo in English? A sheep, right? The male sheep, right? When they pull back, they need to pull back to bring full force. But what you find most times, everybody's like, they just overreact to everything as is happening in real time. And then they wonder why they're still collecting. They use loud words, loud voices, like, let's just say it for, you know. Shout out to Uzo. She said, let's call a spade a spade. A spade is a spade. Absolutely. Shout out to Cynthia. Let's call a spade a spade. Was it Cynthia or Uzo? One of the two said, let's call a spade is a spade. But you might not see that what I'm saying is the spade yet. It's okay. That's all right. Right? Because all of us must have experience, certain types of experience, before we understand it. But this right here, I am very, very proud to say that I've been covering this story, and this is a real good example of what to do. We don't know if she's going to win yet, but how much evidence do you think these guys have left all over the place? The footprints all over the internet in terms of emotional damages to those kids and to May, right? Trolling May directly or indirectly. How much, like, if you overreacted, how would you have all of these evidences? If somebody is truly a Mongo pack, as you guys call it, they can't help themselves. They will leave footprints everywhere. But you have to calm down small. You need to collect enough. Collect enough before you overreact. And a good lawyer will tell you, just relax. We got you, just relax. You don't have to. Are you safe? Are you okay? You're in a safe place. Nobody is harassing you. Nothing immediate. All right, just relax. Relax. You know? This is the post right here. Let me share with you. It's the post right here. I'm just going to read it to you, and then we'll go on to the Stella story. I do have some questions with regards to Stella's story today. It says, Yul Edochie's situation, understanding the reality of it. Some DPA family law clinic posted this. Was this on? Let me see if I can find it directly, because I always like to source it directly from the DPA family law. I'm not even sure if that's the right one. I'm not sure. I don't think that's it. I don't think it's on Instagram. Yeah, it's not. Let's just go back to that. All right, so this is according to Kemi Filani.ng. Yul Edochie says, you understanding the reality of it. I have not seen in recent times a case where so much is going on and yet not much is known. This is what Daddy Freeze was reading earlier. Okay, not much is known to the public despite the intense public interest. For the avoidance of doubt, May Yul Edochie filed a divorce petition against Yul. This is what I mean by I don't know. Okay, you show me something, you know. I just like people to show me something as opposed to speculation. And I get it, you know, this is YouTube, so we're allowed to speculate, to make the points that we need to make, right? But I don't like doing that personally, okay? I don't think I have to either, you know. I don't think that's why you guys come here anyway. For the avoidance of doubt, May Yul Edochie filed a divorce petition against Yul. She also filed against Judy as a party cited, and she's asking for 100 million naira in damages against Judy for adultery with her husband. Make no mistake about it, Yul and Judy are not husband and wife and cannot be so until Yul and May are divorced. I mean, if they're legally married, that would be true. The state laws, I think, takes power over, I think it's has power over traditional cultural stuff, which I understand that if he had paid what do you call it, bride prices, that the bride price that yes, they are wife, traditionally speaking. But you know, the laws will pick up your babalawo if you move any mad, right? It's a combination of delusion and absurdity for the two to call themselves husband and wife yet. Both Judy and Yul are aware of the lawsuit, having received copies of the suit papers by email. Surprisingly, both Yul and Judy are avoiding service of the process upon them. The court bailiff has tried so many times to serve them in accordance with the rules of law, but they... Let me see if I can find the rest of it. I can't find the rest of it. Where's the rest of it? Okay. All right. Anyway, what I will do is I'm going to shut this down at this point. Okay. That's what I will do. Shut this down. Let's get back to the Stella Damasus story. I will see what more we can find over the next few hours. Then I might drop a video around that. But the real lesson here again is this: May is the example you need. Okay, make no mistake that she had the urge, just like you, to react in real time and call a spade and tell the whole world. Make no mistake about that. Okay. But she had the support system, I want to say, because it's not the easiest thing to do, to hold your cool. Okay? Not especially where there will be more than enough people calling you weak for doing that, right? And at some point, you will start feeling like maybe you're weak. That's also part of the reality. And then you start feeling cheated. You start feeling like you have to speak up too. And a good support system will say, calm down. I understand. Calm down. Okay? Calm down, relax. You know, Misanji says this is just weird. So that the petitioner can get damages from them and to prove that the marriage has irretrievably broken down as a result of adultery. She's moving very, very smart, very wise. And by the way, when it comes to the law also encourages that. That's something you might not know. The law will encourage you to calm down, say less. What you say can be used against you in the court of law, right? I don't know if you've heard that before. Right? I'm right. But I need to cover my name. I need to protect my name. I need to.
Well, you're right.
No, but you're still wrong. You will hurt yourself in that process. If you do that, you will always hurt yourself. Okay? If you do that, you need to relax. If something happens to you, you feel like you're a victim, make sure you are safe. That's all you need to do. Just make sure you are safe. You're in a safe place, because this part right here, right, you can't take that back. But unfortunately, sadly, I want to acknowledge that there will be some emotional damages in that process, because listen, it's very difficult to just shut up when you know somebody is wrong. When you know that they're wrong, you just know that that they're wrong, and you want to tell them. I'm telling you, it's better that they agree that they are wrong, that they don't have a choice. The result, everything is pointing at you're wrong. Even if their mouth is still saying something else, the result is speaking for itself. It's always better that way, rather than you just saying it and you just drag yourself for no reason. Okay? Speaking of dragging yourself for no reason, I do think that Stella has dragged herself for no reason over the past 24 hours. I'll be right back. Oh man, Stella. Where do we start from with this one? Oh, let me remove that banner from the screen. Where do we start with Stella? So there was, in that conversation we just had, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the link, okay? Because I want to hear what you have to say. I have questions, and I feel like you guys definitely know more from the way the tabloids moved stories from way back, okay? But we've also seen this type of story before. If a lot of these things that's being pushed are absolutely true, I think we'll be able to dig up stuff. 12 years ago is not that long ago. It just wasn't that long ago, okay? I refuse to think that 12 years ago, how long is 12 years ago? That was 2009? Yeah, 2009, 2010. That's not that long ago. I don't think so. Okay. So I understand that, back how stories were pushed back then. Maybe we've lost some stuff into the shuffle of things, but we should have enough. I'm going to play maybe a little bit. I don't know, I'm looking for where to post the comments. I'm looking for the comment area to post the links for you guys. Okay, there you go. So that's the link for the call-in, okay? Because I've done 2 videos on this issue so far, and clearly many people don't necessarily agree with my take on it, which is not an exact take, okay? It's just that I find it fascinating as a content creator, as a coach here, that more people were more engaged and more excited about the possibility of karma. Okay? Somebody, I think I forgot her name now. I covered it in the last video. The person that left a comment that I reviewed the last time. She said, either way, waiting for it as long as there's karma. I said, karma is pointless if you can't identify it properly. Do you understand what I just said? If that was karma, event happened and it was karma, and the people involved, you can't identify if it was actual karma or it's just a fortunate situation, then the idea of karma is pointless at that point in time. Oh yeah, it's karma. It's probably come, okay, I guess. Karma from how long ago? 12 years ago or 400 years ago? Because some people are still collecting karma from something their forefathers did. Black people, hello. Or something. You have trauma from stuff from generation to generations. The scripture told you that, right? So I can sit in this zone and just say, Olohumu, I'm happy. Yeah, sure, I'm sure there are other issues where I feel that way because I can connect with it at that level. In this case, I don't. Okay, I don't. And the second part that I really found interesting. Women supporting women. Correct me once you're calling. Okay, women supporting women today in the mud. But it makes sense, okay? It's not like it doesn't make sense, although it makes sense because you're relating back to your husband's stature, right? So let me assume that the allegations that she's a husband snatcher is correct. Let me assume. It's an assumption. Until you show me a video where Doris Simeon categorically says, I'm not talking about what you all agree to, because clearly this is a consensus around the internet that this woman was so I don't want to argue with that. I don't have the right to argue with that. I agree. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not binu. Okay, let's assume that's even correct. But I would like to see a video where Doris Simeon, I know there's a video where she talked about they took her child away. That makes sense because the truth in Nigeria, the father has a lot more autonomy over the child than the mother. Okay, so that makes sense to me, right? But nobody ever said anything about, this is the first question, were they still together when he started publicly dating Stella? They worked together, even that one is not clear. But were they still together when she got with him, right? With that being said, the truth is that the question that Brother Ben asked was accurate. A lot of women are comfortable once they feel good. Once it's a good feeling in that moment in time. Some of the ones that said they will never do it, once they are feeling good in that moment in time, they are very comfortable messing with somebody that belonged to somebody else, quote unquote, right? Somebody else's husband, somebody else's boyfriend, somebody else. They just feel like they're better than the person. Am I lying? Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm correct. And if you have nuances to add on to it, please feel free. Come and add on to it. Okay? That's what I am picking up in a lot of the reactions. I will try to get to some of the reactions I've seen. Some of the wildest reaction. The consensus is that please hit the like button. We're missing 20 likes right now. Hit the like button. Thank you. The consensus, some of the consensus that I'm getting is that karma is a bitch. That's all people have to say. Like he came back to haunt you. But that's an isolated half story because he just went on to marry somebody else. That somebody else is not a man, it's a woman, right? That's a woman who knows the story. Reportedly, this woman is part of the industry, so there's nothing new here. And somehow she found ways. She found a way to justify getting with Daniel. No offense, Daniel, but that's a red flag man walking. From what we know, right? From the story we know, right? If he's just upping and leaving and just running away every time there's a little issue, not little, but issue. I can't say little either, but every time there's an issue, he just ups his flight. He runs away, right? There are some people like that. I don't know if you know. Like they can't deal. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Like they're not gonna do all that struggle love. Yeah, there are men that don't want to do struggle love. I don't know if you knew that, right? So if you show them a little shaggy, that a man will just be like, she's gonna. They will run away. How do they run away? They may start talking to someone in the WhatsApp chat group, or old friend from high school, or old friend that they produced together some 14 years ago. Just a little chat. Before you know it, the human heart, the emotions are not your mate. I keep telling you that. They are much more powerful than your righteousness. That's why when you say call a spade, it's not accurate. You're missing the biggest chunk of the variable, emotions. Okay? People, let's just call wrong, wrong, right, right. You're right. I'm not disputing that. Listen, we can end the show if that's the whole point of this right now. But clearly that's not working. It's not working. There's more to the story. Why? There's a ton of whys. Why is this? This man said he was going to travel. They probably had separation issues, right? I picked that up from what she said. She did say we're not enemies. The way I interpreted that, okay? The way I interpreted that was, you know, it's they're cordial. And she said it. She said because of the child. We have a common denominator, the child. She said that. I thought that was as honest as it could get. The people asking her to hold herself accountable, they're asking her to call herself a husband and a child snatcher. That's what I'm picking up. A person that will basically tell herself a different story. That will basically say, you know what, I'm not snatching husband. You expect her to come 12 years later to come and tell you that, like, yes, that was husband snatching. Towards the end of the show we just did with Auntie B, somebody also said, maybe, who said that? I forgot. Maybe I at least apologize. Was it Auntie B that said that? And I thought Toby asked a very good question at that point in time. Toby said, let me see if I can find that comment here. Yeah, it's actually, it was going to be my number 11 question. Let me pull it to the forward right now. Toby said, I'm sorry, but what should Stella apologize for? She married a guy who abducted his son. It's clear like day. He adopted his son out of Nigeria because that society allows for such something that terrible. There should be some kind of agreement between the parents. Now she kidnapped the boy. But what I'm picking up from there is the emotional connections to the story, which is, well, I can't, and Auntie B was honest, I can't stand women would think, or she said, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, women would think they can oppress. She said she feels like this is oppression. That's the point I've been making. It looks like we're more interested in the fact that this is karma than anything else. And it makes sense still. That's what most people are interested in. And I have to pay attention to that. To me, she just fell in love with another doctor. I think Stella is a lover girl. It's obvious. That's why she's engaged. That's why she can't wait to try to teach somebody what she knows. I don't think she knows anything to share with anybody yet. Unless she's having conversations in terms of concepts and theories and stuff like that. I think she should take some time off. She can have the conversation, but not try to be coaching anybody. Okay? Because if this just happened, and for example, the story that just happened in the last 24 hours, you can't even think straight. You will just project your own stuff on everybody else. Projection, I don't know if you know yet, it doesn't work. Projecting how you interpret this issue on other people, it's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. You need to have a holistic understanding of how emotions work and be capable of being objective in these issues. Do we have this information? We don't have this information. Listen, granted, it's much more boring, okay? Because it's an analysis. Do we have this information? Okay. All right. I think this is what happened. I think. I don't know for a fact. I think this is what happened. I know for a fact that these two lovebirds, they fell in love. Possibly he was still with that woman, Doris. Yes, it happens all the time. Doesn't justify it. But people will still do what they have to do. They don't care. They don't care. People don't care. I don't know if I told you yet. Man and woman, once they are caught up in in some kind of emotional, entanglement that feels good, even though it's wrong. If it feels right, people will continue to do what is wrong. It is what it is.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care.
They don't care. I'm just letting you know they don't care. Does Daniel seem like somebody that care to you? What about Tokwe Oshin Ogun, allegedly? Well, we saw her in the picture. I don't know what she looked like, but that person. Does she seem like she cares? Right? If not that Stella has this reputation of husband snatcher, according to you all, from before, do you not think that Stella will be running around the internet calling Tokwe Oshin husband snatcher right now? Answer me, please. Be honest. Even if you disagree with me, just be honest. Okay? Do you not think that Stella will be running around the internet saying husband snatcher right now? Forget everything that happened in that marriage. She's the husband snatcher. Forget that it's been 3 years since we've been divorced. Everybody just found out for the first time right now. Do you not think she will be running around saying she's a husband snatcher right now? Now bring it back in full circle. Bring it back around. That's all I'm saying. Auntie B, any lost one? Yeah, that real juju. Yeah, she can't. Yeah.
Not be juju be that.
She won't be able to coach on this matter. She has no idea what's going on because of what she's been through. She needs to take some time off, and we're also in a place that is very dangerous for anybody who. This is controversial. If you don't have results to showcase, and over a period of time, I know there are a lot of people going through counseling school and all that kind of stuff, trying to teach her. I think we need to dig in deeper. At least listen to them a little bit longer before they can claim to coach anyone. But she did say she's partnering with somebody. I wonder if it's Dr. Shola. But anyway, let's see. Did Snatch allow himself to be snatched? So I will put it on him. Yeah, people were able to detect in the chat that maybe I was trying to support Daniel, which is not the case. It's not the case. I think Daniel is absolutely irrelevant, outside of irrelevant to why the story is big right now. The reason why the story is big is Stella. It's as simple as that. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, but of course Daniel is relevant in terms of. We have a question. Why are you running always? Why are you running too? Why are you running? Okay, now you run so far. Now he's gotten with a woman who's been married, from what I saw earlier a little bit. She's been married before. She just got divorced in 2014, which is enough time. 2014 is about to 10 years next year. Okay. So, but what are you looking for? Now, he would justify it. Now that, what? She's matured. She's gone through some coaching. I think we can do something. It's possible. It's possible. But the only thing we know about Daniel right now is his actions saying, this woman were not good enough. I need to find something else. That's all we know. Well, we also know, according to you all, that he kidnapped his baby without the consent of the mother. Right? But in terms of the relationship and his status on relationship, it seems like a guy was like, it's not working. I won't buy here. Like, what you all always say, right? Like, hey, it's not do or die. If it's not working, we can move. We move, right? Ola, when you called him a lover boy, some Obodo fam didn't get what you meant. Yeah, this guy is a hopeless romantic. That's what I meant. He's hoping that he will find love one day. He's not a player, just like Yol is not a player. Okay? These guys are lover boys. Okay? Players don't move this way. Players don't care. They will even impregnate 3 people before you found out. They already have 3 wives in 2 different houses before you find. There's tons of Yoruba actors like that. Okay? This one that everybody is dragging people around, like, before you know it, he has side chicks that are already wives, and and it's not because of Muslims. Some of them are Muslim, but it's not because of that. It's just what it is, right? So these guys that come on the internet and say, let me announce to the world I have a second child with my, that's definitely a lover boy move. This guy who is running from, like, he just eloped one day with another woman, seemingly, that's a lover boy. I don't blame you. I was beginning to think I am the only one that noticed that about him. What did D say? I'm trying to see. Women supporting women can be a scam. Miss Angie, that is why I stopped engaging with his content regularly. What are you talking about? Let me see. What did we miss that? But this Daddy Freeze shall be speaking from sides of the mouth. Oh, he was just announcing for us earlier now. Don't worry about Daddy Freeze. When you call them, okay, I already got that. Stella, let me call it Stella. Somebody says, is it Stella that your accent? Somebody was saying I use that word. I think it's Stella. We did call it Stella in a war. Stella was not going to leave him because he wasn't doing the right thing by his ex-wife. She seems the type, Disney fairy tales kind of woman. Exactly. That's what I am picking up from Stella. Judy does not care about your marriage coaching nonsense. She only cares about Jesus. Do you see the clear difference between Judy and Stella? Do you see the difference? Right? Stella is like hopeless romantic. I can make this work again. I can resuscitate what I thought I was gonna have for a lifetime. And this dude was like, nah, you're toxic. No, I'm out. I'm speculating, of course. Right? Judy is like, for where? Like, no, Jesus. Odegu. Go, you shall succeed. These two different things. One to me looks, although they don't write it on foreheads, okay? They don't write it on forehead. I do think that I've said this before. You guys might take an offense to this, but pardon me, okay? Just correct me if you need to correct me. I think any woman is capable of snatching somebody else's man. I said it a long time ago. Because why do I say that? Because of emotions. You start chatting with people. That's why you have to be careful with all that chat with ex from high school stuff. Ex from primary school. Oh, we're just catching up. It's no big deal. You have to be careful with that because all it takes is that you feel safe and secure and a little void in your situation that you have at home. That's all it takes. And the best opportunity presents itself. You just never know. Some things might just align. And maybe you have been listening to somebody say, don't let somebody's marriage steal you your joy of engaging your, what do they call it? Love. Your chance of love in life, right? That's an advice for a snatcher. Listen, it's easy to point fingers at these things, right? But the truth is that I pray that you don't end up in that kind of situation. I hope not. And I hear you. That would never be me. I'd rather buy first. I hear you. Completely understand. You're supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to be able to vouch for yourself with your full chest like that. Of course, you'll never do that. I'm just letting you know that the person that did it, they probably said that before too. Okay? They probably said that too. Now, with that being said, can you have some conscience? Yes, you can have conscience. Yes, but it's more so from positioning yourself so you don't fall. It's more so from don't stay there. What did the scripture say? Flee. If it looks like it, it's probably going to be it. It starts with simple little conversation here and there. Once you start feeling safe, and to be said, go and ask the exes. The last people you want to talk to is the exes. The exes become your enemy. They were the one that were wrong. They just didn't belong there. Based off of the story you're hearing, it aligns with your feelings. I don't know what show I was watching yesterday that somebody said, this guy, I had to let him go, but he was the best man that I had to let go. A married man. That's real. Let's not deceive ourselves. That is real. We're not God. Okay? Love, qua. What is qua? Anna's expression, what is qua? I clocked him ages ago, sis. Women mostly get the flack in this type of situations. They will call her a home wrecker as if no be the man destroy his home. You know what? I noticed that too. You know, because I don't know if you notice, as men, even if we generally try to avoid throwing each other under the bus. Okay? We generally try to avoid that. Okay? Now, the men don't agree with me because they think I throw them under the bus here. Right? But generally speaking, if we disagree, it's not a real disagreement yet because we're still trying to see where's the difference coming from. We're looking like, where do we disagree? Right? So it's tricky, you know. But what I'm seeing is like, okay, this very little grace applied here. I'm a little bit on the fence here because I can see the connection back to what certain people remember about the beginning of the story. I get that, you know, but Daniel got away today. Let's be honest. Yes, I disagree on this. X can sometimes be objective, especially when they heal and have moved on. No, it's not the X that can be objective. The X can be objective. They can be. It's the person who is asking the X that don't want to ask the X. They don't want to talk to the X. They don't want the X to spoil it for them. So forget me for a second, okay? I'm getting with a new girl, right? And I'm like, let me make sure that this girl is going to be a good wife. I want to go and talk to her ex. That's kind of weird as a man, but like, no, I don't want to talk to the ex. I think the ex is a punk. I think he missed out. I think to hell with the ex. He should keep moving that direction. Right? These are the reality, at least from a standpoint of you're feeling so good about the situation, you don't want anything to mess it up. You don't want anybody to talk bad about them. Right? So it's unrealistic to say somebody who is in love, you know, even to get them to talk to their father, have your father talk to this person to vet them is difficult because they don't want anybody to mess it up, you know. So that's what I'm speaking from. Let me jump through this. You see, I'm taking my time now. The link is pinned to the top if you want to come in and speak. Anybody want to come in and speak? Let's see here. Women mostly, okay, we got that part. And to be so clear, how can you coach on something? Yeah, now really did you be that? Me also, this matter is almost personal to me. I get that. That's what I picked up the most in earlier on the show. I get that, you know. And listen, the next person I want to bring on the show is my mom. All right, and to be, you remind me a lot of my mom, mannerisms, the way she takes this kind of matter. And if you listen to the show I did with my dad, I think you will understand some more. But I understand. That's why it's a big deal. It's very, makes sense. And to be, the only thing she can coach on is the red flags to watch out for. She hasn't had a successful marriage, so she can't coach on that area. Yeah, so, you know, I generally don't like to do absolutes, but I'm just weary. That relationships are just, dating, relationship, and marriage are just in a very, very bad place. And we need people with results, okay? Not just because they have results, they've been through the ups and downs. Meaning they've almost lost their family. As a matter of fact, filed for divorce, but somehow made it, or they've remarried, and they have a contract. What do you call it? A contrast, right? A frame of reference to say this is what was bad, this is what was good. From an experience standpoint, okay, from an experience standpoint, she could probably be a good divorce lawyer, but not marriage coach. I would say she needs to take her time, as usual, you know. Plus, I don't know, you know. I don't want to kill her dreams, but she can have the conversation. She could be a good part of the conversation, just like we're all having this conversation right now. And people don't have to teach you directly, but you can learn from having conversations, even from disagreements, right? So I think that will be like, she will be on a show. Like, let's say she jumps on Dr. Shola's show from time to time and they have a conversation and she's able to listen and she's able to say, well, I feel this way. Well, I disagree this way. Well, this wasn't my experience. All this kind of, yeah, she can do that. But coaching, I think she's going to end up teaching everybody red flags. From our own standpoint, she will project on people that have no experience. They will start looking for the red flags. It just gets worse. It's a vicious cycle. It just gets worse and worse. You know. Oh yeah, she's a walking red flag. Stella is a walking confused woman. She needs to leave marriage alone and stop spoiling it for marriage hopefuls. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. But listen, if somebody wants to have the conversation, I think they're coming from a good place, and I think we should encourage that to an extent. I don't know. A little tricky for me. I just need more people. I need more people like Auntie B. I need more people like Brother Patrick. I need more people. It's not because I pedestalize marriage. It's because they've been through the ups and downs of it, right? To say, you know what, that was, I was in a situation that was really bad. I almost lost my marriage, but this is how we came back from it, right? And I need everybody, especially those ones with no experience at all, I need them to shut up for a while. Okay, the one with no experience, those ones should absolutely shut up. Okay. Divorcees, if they've been through, like you said earlier, Auntie B, if they've been through the healing process, they can absolutely teach other people. Okay. But oftentimes when I hear them talk, shout out to Mbasi, whenever she talks, you could just tell that she's self-reflection a lot. She embodies that, right? And she's still open and she's listening. But a lot of people, they just come from this, they avoid this. Can you also teach them what to engage and go deeper into? Of course not. They have none. Because their experience is all that overwhelms them. You know? Let me see. Let me rush through that. He also has a way of opting out of relationships by running away. He did the same with Doris. Yes, precisely. I agree. She also needs therapy before going into her next relationship. Otherwise, she will collect again. Yep, because you're you. It's your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go. Grabbing someone's hobby. Hey, Just Jay, what's going on? Grabbing someone's hobby or wife, snatching is very filmy and quick, but grabbing as context. Thank you, Kudiratu. Thank you. Okay, there's context. There's more to the stories. A lot of emotions invested prior to fulfilling the intentions. If you married somebody who has been married before, I guarantee you somebody is calling you a husband snatcher. Okay, that was Daddy Free's show. Yes, I think it was. I think it was yesterday. Yep. Ola, I disagree. Okay, we already covered that, Auntie B. I already covered that. I know Auntie B will probably want to go and sleep at some point. Oh yes, Ola, it's very personal to your mom. Right, you have no idea. I hope a healthy couple do not seek our counsel. This is our way of snaring man. Kudiratu. Why would I do like this? Real Jezebel, like Auntie B said. Absolutely, I love Mbasi's full of wisdom. Yes. All right, Natu Alpha, where are you?
What's up? What's
going on with you?
Is my volume okay?
Looks like you were busy earlier. Because you dropped that one small gem in Auntie B and then you run away. This is what you said earlier. What did you mean by this? So this man, everybody is cheating on him, It is well.
Yeah, because they said the first lady cheated. They said the second lady cheated. So I'm like, so is everybody cheating on him? Then that means it's saying something about him too. Hello.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, when it's one person, it's like we'll say, okay, maybe it's the other person. But when we have 1, 2, then we gotta check. Like, okay, you know.
I agree.
It's just like
this is a very difficult one for people to agree, though.
You know, it's just like you having, let's say you're having girlfriends, and then you keep changing. I'm like, this one is not good for me. That one is not good for me. By the time you get to the third one, I'm like, Baba, it's not the girlfriends, it's you. Go and check yourself. The first one is not okay. Second one is not okay. Third one is not okay.
Let's go back to the everybody cheating on you part, right? Mm-hmm. Why can't we just hold these cheating women accountable? Because I agree with you, but why can't we just hold these cheating women accountable? This kind of man will basically say, eventually, if a few people have cheated on him, he will come back to the red pill community and say all women are cheaters. That's what he will say, right? And he will disengage from what they can learn. Now. He said what?
What are the women cheating with? Sex toys? Just
maybe they were chatting with her ex-boyfriend from nursery school, but but these people keep cheating, right? He will now come back and now say, you know what? It must be, women are just cheaters.
Like, it's just obvious. There's a pattern there already. There's a pattern. If everybody's cheating on you, something is lacking. You're not doing something right. Is either Ebola is not working well and they have to go out and get serviced.
Right.
Or something just happening.
No, not to. Let's call a spade a spade. A cheater is a cheater.
Yeah, so who is the cheater? Is it the man that is the child? The woman is the cheater. Who is the cheater here?
All this woman that he's running away from after
That's
they
why I
cheat
asked. I said, what are the women cheating with? Sex toys?
with men. So you are pushing it back on
Exactly.
men. So the same thing goes back in the other direction too,
Come
right?
on, sis.
If everybody
Of course.
has been cheating on you as a woman, they are cheating. They tend to be cheating with other women. What is like? What is like?
And,
It's not.
let
It's
me
not
tell
that.
you.
It's not that all men are cheaters. Is that yes,
So-
there are cheaters, but also
so-
there's something about you.
Right, so if it's a woman that's always saying men are cheating on her, it's either she is an enabler
Hey,
or
Onibe.
exactly. It's either she's an enabler or there's something just about her that is giving them that permission to. This is not a relationship thing, right? I just want to give you a scenario. I have a friend. She naturally does not gossip. So we don't bring gossip to her. Like we
Okay.
just know she draws the line. When you start, you're like, stop. I
She's
don't
not
like
interested.
talking about. Nah, she don't talk about people. She don't have time for that. So everybody knows that. So if every man that comes into your life is doing the same thing, then there's something wrong. I dated this guy one time that his favorite line is every girl that he's dating is AS. That's the story he tells the next girlfriend.
Wait. So every girl he has dated is what?
AS.
Oh, AS.
Carrier.
Okay.
Because he's a carrier himself.
Okay.
So-
So
yeah.
is he using that to?
Yeah,
what
he's
was he
using that as his
to?
excuse. But then his breakup, like he can't date for too long.
That is vicious.
He
That's
cannot
evil.
date for
For someone to
too
use
long.
that, it's
Yeah.
evil.
So someone that I know after we broke up, she's like, "Are you a sickler?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "Why is this guy going to tell people that his ex-girlfriend is sickler?" I'm like, "Well, that's his favorite line. Because that's the only way he can get out of. That's the only way he can get the next person.
Right.
That's the only way he can lie to the next person, man."
Yeah. Mario Subway, I do remember he had a video or a post where he claimed, yeah, that was part of the rumors from 2 years ago when the news came out that they broke
To
up,
have
right?
tracked her.
That he had been tracking her, and then I don't know how valid those ones are, because some of these blogs be making up story, man. If you
Yeah,
find it,
but
let me
like
know, Sha.
MLP, like you used to say, right? What will lead you? You know that relationship, there's something wrong with you for you to track your partner to be able to see where they're going to, what they're doing.
Yes.
There's something wrong already. There's like a dysfunction thingy going on there already. That's a dysfunctional relationship already. If there's a need for you to track, if there's a need for you to jump onto your partner's phone when they leave something open, their computer or anything because you want to see something's just wrong already.
Yeah.
Something is wrong.
That's why. These are the reasons why. When I was hearing all the stories since yesterday, I can't help but just to notice, because me too, my eyes picks up patterns, right? My senses pick up patterns. The pattern I see is comma, right?
No,
And-
everybody is saying the karma thing because it's Stella. Do you understand what
because
I'm
of
saying?
Stella.
Because he
Right.
didn't talk, like Auntie B said. Everybody's talking about it because Stella is the person that spoke. So that's why it's now
No,
about-
it's because Stella was a husband snatcher. That's directly related to Stella being a
Exactly.
husband snatcher.
Yeah, so she's the one that came out to speak now that we know that they're no longer together. And so that's
Right.
why everybody's saying karma has caught up with you. So that's how it is. So because he hasn't said anything, his own karma is waiting for him in the front. And his own is going to be Pro Max.
What do you think his karma will be?
It's going to be Pro Max. You're going to get a woman that would deal with him so bad. I'm
You
telling
think
you.
Tokpa Oshin Ogun is gonna show him shaking?
Yeah, so if she doesn't show him another woman, have you watched the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a situation at the end of the day. Like you're just gonna be in one spot, you can't do anything, and you need those women that you've been doing shege to.
But
to
that
help
was
your life.
that was a movie, not to.
But it has happened in real life though. Like
Yeah,
I know
somebody has ended up becoming a second wife,
Yes.
a third wife, fourth wife
No,
with
no,
these
no.
same stories.
No.
And
I'm telling you that I know someone that it has happened to, that he has married to the third person, and now he got into like a very bad accident, and then that person that he ran to, that he was like the third wife or the third concubine, the third whatever clause you want to put her in, almost that lady, she wasn't having it, man. She would dress in front of this guy with her mini clothes, to rub lipstick, go out, come back late, not cook food for him. I'm not your like she gave it to him pro max. This is like a real life story. This is in Nigeria. Somebody I know very well. So forget about it.
Okay, let's fly through some of these questions that I said I had. So you called in first, so you'll be
Yeah,
the
I'm
one
here.
answering for me. Number one question: how did Daniel leave Doris? What was that story?
I guess they kind of like eloped or something.
Oh, so did he leave that marriage first? I know they probably didn't divorce like many marriages
Bro,
or second marriages.
So remember this?
Was
all
it
I did
done
was-
with her?
No. Yeah, he was done with her, but she was still in a relationship with him because she
On
didn't know
paper.
he was done. On paper and physically. You know, like how our people used to be in denial and hoping like everything's gonna work out well and they're gonna keep holding on,
Right,
even if the
right.
guy's not good. I want to believe that's their story. Remember that guy that I told you
Wait.
that,
You want to believe, or that's the story?
well, I want to believe that's the story.
Okay, okay, all right, continue. I'll
Because
take it
I
in.
don't have the story firsthand, but
Right.
I'm saying this because remember the guy that with the AS, that's his
Right.
last girlfriend has AS.
Uh-huh.
No
Yeah.
joke. MOP, this is my ex. This is how he breaks up with you.
He would
You guys
just
are gonna
be
see-
like, so you
No.
still think you're in a relationship, but he's done. He's moved on to
Do you
something
know how
else.
do you know how I found out we broke up? He engaged a girl that he met a month after I left Nigeria, and he engaged her on her birthday. And I saw the pictures all over social media from his sisters, and then my cousin texted tell me that he engaged the girl, and they met less than 2 months ago. Guess what? That girl now he left her again. She's married to somebody. She has a child. That guy's still not married. This story is from like 2015. I'm just telling you right now.
Right.
That guy's still not married. So the way he does his breakup, you're not gonna know. He's just gonna move on with somebody else. You're just gonna see him all about the other person on social media. That's how you're gonna find out that he has broken up with you. He's not gonna say anything with you. Or he will arrange with one of his friends to start talking dirty to you, and then he comes to claim that you're cheating on him with his friend. Yes. So I had that. Yes. So one of his friends was talking dirty to me, and no, we're just regular chatting. And then later he just switched into going like a little bit dirty. And funny enough, I saved the chat.
Like
till today.
suddenly. It's
So
like
when he
suddenly.
started, yeah, when he started, I just switched. I'm like, do you know who you're chatting with? I'm like, this is your friend's girlfriend. He was like, oh, he knows his friend doesn't have to know. I'm like, no, I don't do two can play the game. I still have the chat. Yeah, I'm like, in case they ever come for me, I'll
So
pull it
wait,
there.
are you insinuating that she initiated that to go and test you?
That no, it's not that I'm insinuating. That's their style in their
She-
clique of friends.
She was testing you. He was
Yeah.
testing you. This
Yeah.
guy was testing you.
No, he wasn't.
So that
testing,
it wasn't testing. He was trying to catch you somewhere so you can use that to escape.
Yes,
He wanted to.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But remember how
So
you
he wasn't a man. He wasn't a man. He couldn't say
right.
like this
But
is
you
not
remember
working.
how I
wanna
told you
kill
that I have a rule: you can never use a man against me in any relationship because my hands are always clean. So he couldn't like.
Right.
So that was just how.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So again, people could be 60 and behave this way, by the way, but they're still boys, you know. And the
Yep.
question now will be, how do you ladies, how would you detect such situation before it actually, before you fall on your face in that manner? Because that has to be tough. If you think you're in a relationship with a person, but the person is done, there's a reason why you're in a relationship with them. At least that's who you think you are with, you know, and suddenly you find out they're trying to play games to exit. How would you, if you were to go back in times and detect this up front, what kind of signs did you see that you kind of ignored?
What kind of signs? Some of the signs that I saw, because it was a distant relationship. That's one. Two, he's fond of going MIA on the weekends.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he has this history of not having too long of a relationship. And then one of his ex-girlfriends that was married, he was still keeping in touch with her, like in touch. So I think those were the signs that I saw that I ignored. That if I would have seen it back then, I would have acted different.
Yeah. So I tell people, right? Let me just say this before I move on to the next question, right? What you care for, you create time for it. Okay. So even if you have bad habits or you want to indulge in bad behavior, you still want to at least be under the illusion that you're leading with some level of respect. You won't bring disrespect to them. Okay. Some people might argue that that's still disrespect. Well, that's a different conversation. What I'm saying is that the last thing they want to do is jeopardize that relationship. So they will create time for it, and they will also, even if they hide certain things from you, it's more so from a standpoint of thinking they're protecting you. But if they are outrightly, like the idea of a person disappearing for a whole weekend, and then you're still available for them on Monday morning, you are now demonstrating that you don't have a good sense of value of yourself. Yes, you're with this person. It makes sense that, that's my boyfriend. They call me. So, but in that moment in time, as much as we want to point fingers at him and say, but that person is telling you who they are. That's where I like to put some focus in this kind of conversation. What do you think about that?
To be honest, right?
I heard honking.
Oh, that was outside, like all the way outside.
Okay.
To be honest, right? This is a situation where maybe let me just digress a little bit. Let's just say you're going through something and you're praying to God for a sign, and then you close your eyes and block your ears when God is trying to give you a sign. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So in this kind of situation, there is no way, none of them, like there's no way they didn't get it. Both women didn't get a sign of who this guy was, but because they are in
But you're hoping that it's not the truth. Like I was saying to Auntie B earlier, that a person who is in love, they know that there may be some red flag, and now they should go and be asking the ex. They probably don't want the ex involved. They don't want to, even if they know the truth, they don't want to hear that truth.
Let me shock you. So one of his exes was a friend that I know, right?
Okay.
So I now realized they were friends on Facebook. So I think one time when I posted about him on my WhatsApp status, she wanted to comment. She wanted to tell me something, but I wasn't welcoming. I just dismissed her, like real quick. Yeah, ouch. I did dismiss her.
Emotions no be your mate too.
Exactly. So I did dismiss her.
Because if you really needed that, you wouldn't be with him. Exactly. You're with him because you're hoping he's going somewhere.
So I was feeling like I've known everything, but don't forget, I've also known that he has been like a serial dater, and ends up not marrying anyone for a very long time. But
you're the special one that.
Exactly, chosen. You gotta say the chosen one.
Oh, such a lover girl.
God.
Oh wow.
I'm a hopeless romantic.
Forget romantic. Wow. Hold on, we have Honeybae here. Let's have Honeybae jump into conversation. Hello, Honeybae.
Hello, how are you? How's everybody?
Accountability prefect is here. Let me shift.
How you day?
I am good.
Honeybae started a fire at Auntie B's show, and he started dragging me, and then she left. I said, Honeybae, come back here. I said, come back here.
Drag you.
No, you didn't drag me, but you didn't drag me, but you left. And I was like, Honeybae, come back here and come and hold this man accountable.
I had a meeting. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Apologies.
Yeah, awesome. So tell me, maybe how did Daniel leave Doris?
I don't actually know, but I just believe personally that you should have some integrity when you're dealing with people. Like I said before in Auntie B show, marriage is not by force. If you want to leave, do you, man. Do what you have to do. But I believe that as human beings, we should have respect from each other. If you don't want to be in the marriage, I don't want to be in this marriage.
Just freaking
let's
say
sort out the kids.
Exactly.
I don't find that Oyibo. I don't want to try and be judgmental, but I find that Oyibo culture, that's what they do. They're not interested. They will sit the person down. I don't want to do the marriage anymore. You do you, I do me. Let's settle the kids. Let's settle our finances. But it's like Nigerian mentality is like, I don't want to be in the marriage. You won't tell the person. So the person is a witch or a wizard and supposed to figure out that you don't want to be with them. I don't think it's just the height of disrespect. You don't want to be with someone. The man is 45 or whatever is how old he is. He's not a baby. I expect this type of behavior from someone in their 20s and 30s, not a big crafty old man. He should be able to tell Stella. I'm not advocating for Stella. Or sorry, I'm actually talking about Doris, the first wife. I don't want to be in the marriage. With dignity and respect, you separate.
So you
Sort
appreciate
out-
that Daniel is doing that? Like, hey, it's not working. Let's keep it moving.
No, but he
maybe
didn't
it's me.
say it
Like
to
I said,
her.
I was not brought up in Nigeria, so maybe. And for me, I'm not. So I don't understand that toxicity where you're not interested in the marriage. You don't even have the balls to tell your partner, "I'm not interested in the marriage anymore."
Because he
To
doesn't have
me, you
no
should be.
balls.
I don't believe he doesn't. Trust me, he's just doing it, but there's nothing there. I don't think personally you should man up enough to say, "I'm not interested in the marriage anymore."
What if
Whether
I'm not
it's a
sure
man or
that
a
I'm not?
woman,
What
and
if I
let the
what?
person.
What if I'm not sure that I'm not interested yet?
You can't see.
Stop
This is the
capping.
thing.
Stop capping.
It's all
Stop.
about
MOP, stop it.
yeah. It's all about respect. How can you say
I
you're
like.
not sure?
It's
So you want-
possible. I like
Stop
my girl,
capping.
but you know,
Nah.
these days I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure where I'm at. Some girl is giving me attention. Every time I go to the gym, I don't really want that girl. I want to keep things going with my girl, but I'm not sure yet, right?
Then for me,
Eh,
that's for you to say that. No disrespect. That person is immature. You shouldn't even be in marriage because I expect that from a 15 or 16-year-old talking about a crush in school, not a married person saying that I'm not sure
Speaking of-
today, I'm not sure tomorrow.
So speaking of 15, right? Do you know that there are grown 45, 55-year-old people still pointing fingers at that girl? They are women, right? Pointing fingers at that girl who snatched their boyfriend in high school, and they are still married to today, and they are actively waiting for karma one day. It happened in high school, right?
I think you
Are you
have to
aware?
get to it. I'm aware, but it just shows that there's something messed up because there's many people that you have a plan. Not everyone's going to marry their first love. Life happens. You may end
Right.
up marrying someone that you did not plan to. I think if you say you're going to be married, then I expect you to have the emotional intelligence that you're always talking about, man of prestige.
Right.
If you're not ready to have that emotional intelligence and to
Right.
deal with marriage as a mature person, don't get married. So it comes back to what I
sadly, Honeybee, sadly, I agree with you, but sadly, the picture you're painting is a fantasy. Most people
I
are
know,
mad.
right? I'm an idealist. I am.
You're
I'm
an idealist.
Reality is totally different.
Yeah, people, and what can you do about it is really the conversation we want to have, right? But hold on one second. Mara says, I don't believe in karma. Otherwise, we would for all collect. I'm with Marriott on this one. Nigerian politicians should be zombies, but that's not the result. What do you guys say about this? What do you ladies say about
I
this?
do believe. I believe that personally, if you reap what you sow. I do believe in karma because the Nigerian politician, I agree with what you're saying. They're not collecting, but I don't believe that
Who
you as a
told you they're not
person
collecting?
can do certain things and you think that there's not going to be a repercussion to your actions. There's cause and effect. Simple. There is cause and
Okay,
effect.
so
You know what I mean?
Natu, you just asked a question. You said, "Who told you that
They're
they're
not
not
collecting."
collecting?"
Yeah.
So that's a good question, right? On that end, right? On the other end, who told you that what Nigeria is going through is not Nigeria collecting from 4 generations ago too, right? So there's a lot of open-ended
I understand
scenarios
right?
there.
Even at that, right? The whole thing going on in Nigeria, even the politicians are collecting it too because their pockets they suffer around. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Some of them are not having it easy. I have a friend that belongs to one of the elite political families, and one time this lady was complaining about money. I will bet you at that time I will swear on my life that she has maybe at least 15 to 20 M in her account. And this person is telling me she can't boast of 50K. And this is the same person, if she roll out and snap pictures, you'll be like, big mother.
So that goes to tell you that what we see, and that's the angle I want us to be looking at things on life and love from, right? From a standpoint of gratitude. I keep saying that. From a standpoint of gratitude. While it might look on the surface like somebody's enjoying better than you, right? Maybe you have 1 million in the account. That person has 15 million in the account. That 1 million you have in your account, your lifestyle basically circles around 200K in any given week, right? So you're good. That person's lifestyle is around 50K. So when they are at 15M, they are suffering, okay? Because they can't sustain their livelihood, right? But from what you are seeing on the outside, because they ride big cars and stuff like that, you're looking at the wrong things. And again, it takes me back to what I was saying, which is there's so much questions, and when as long as we continue to have these questions, we need to slow down on conclusive statements. You know, we don't know what we don't know, especially when glaringly there are questions. There, like this question I just gave you, I still haven't gotten an answer from neither you, Natu, nor Honeybay. But yet we have a lot of conclusions.
You said, how did Daniel leave Doris?
Yes.
He just opened the door and left. What are you talking about?
But Honeybay just said people are allowed to do that.
Of course.
Allowed to do what? What did I say?
To just leave. If it's not working, you can leave.
I agree with that.
No.
If
Honeybay,
you're not
hold on.
happy in the
What
marriage,
Honeybay was saying was that
thank you.
you're allowed to leave, but you have to like tell the other person, I'm not feeling this, and I think I want to take it back.
with a respectful way. Okay,
Yes.
so particularly, so I guess maybe my question needs more context, right? With respect to what we're talking about today, we're saying Stella is a husband snatcher, right? I agree, because you want me to just agree, okay? What I'm saying is that no one
she's
has.
a husband snatcher.
No,
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. That's one.
I don't. He's a big grown
The
man.
way he left Stella, that's the way he left Doris. She probably found out that they're not together when she started seeing pictures of him and Doris, Stella flying around.
Found out in the strangest way. She probably knew there was issues, but it's done. It's gone.
This kind of people, they have pattern. They have their pattern, and their pattern don't change.
Men don't change. I mean, you don't change. If someone wants to change, they change for themselves. And he's got a history. As I said, it's going to be wife number 4 in the next couple of years. I said that before.
This guy is going to be like a chain smoker. Do you know how hard it is to make a chain smoker stop smoking?
You said she's a what?
He's going to be like a chain smoker. You know how hard it is for you to have a chain smoker to stop smoking?
Like the what do you call that? Withdrawal issues, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for him to give up. That's what she means.
Hard.
And the thing is that she doesn't exactly she doesn't have to give up. It's just that the method about how she needs to be happy with where she is this story today, right now. Gratitude, remember? She needs to find solace, happiness, closure.
She can't find happiness. She can't find closure because she's.
Well, that's going to be a problem.
Because she's focused on what people will think and what people will say. People will laugh at her. People will say karma. People will say this and that. And the truth of the matter is,
because she should have mentioned, when she mentioned karma on that interview.
You know that
it's like it's like and also she's triggering the public to bring it up. This is another lesson right here, okay? What you focus on expands. Why are you talking about karma if you don't want them to talk about karma? You talk about karma, they will talk about karma. That's how it works. That's how life works. Even if you mean even if you're insinuating I don't like them to call it karma, it's not really karma. The human minds don't understand the not and the don'ts, and it understands the subject of the matter. It focuses on it and it expands. That's how it works. So if there's something you don't want, stop telling the world that you don't want that thing, because the world is going to expand that thing for you, and we completely disregard the fact that you don't want it. If she can, this same thing I just said in real life, all she had to do is go on that interview and talk about what she's known best for. That's it. If somebody said, but these are the questions, well, that's personal life. Today I'm divorced. That's it. You don't need to hide that part. But in terms of all the shalaye, they will just drag you with it. And that's what's happening on the internet right now. Hold on one second. Miss Lulu says, I agree with Marriott. I do not believe in karma. I think it's a concept made to make humans behave and give us some sense of satisfaction when bad things happen to seemingly bad people. I agree with you 100% on that. I'm with you on that 100%. Tima says she's driving. Shout out to Tima. It's obvious it's not a good communicator. That's Daniel, I'm guessing. He relocated the child without telling the mother, broke up with Stella through YouTube. If I were to bet my monthly livelihood on it, I think they were having a conversation. She did not agree. and he took the child anyway. I doubt if he actually just up and took the child away and just ran away. I think there was a disagreement. They never really agreed to taking the child, and he took it anyway. And I think that's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But I think ultimately the result is still kidnapping, though. The mother needs to agree to that. But also that will be based on Nigerian law too. I don't know if Nigerian law supports that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that he did it because of the society and the patriarchal system. If you tried that in the US, if you tried that in the UK, it would not happen. So I think this is arrogance and narcissistic, because what is wrong with you divorcing a woman, sorting out the custody, and everybody go their separate ways? But because he knows he can get away with that type of rubbish in Nigeria, that's why he did it.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this, right? That's a good point, but I'll say this. I think I think this guy, right, from these patterns of behavior we're saying, let's just say the Daniels, not him in particular, since we don't know him. The Daniels, right, if they have a pattern of upping and leaving like this and being quiet, they've made up their mind what they want to do, right? And they are so sure of themselves, crossing the line into almost narcissistic traits, right? As in, like, they don't really care what you have to say. They don't feel the need to explain to you either, right? And there's downsides to that. While we'll always tell people, like, you need to be sure of yourself, right? We said that earlier here, because that's what attracts the best to you too. There's also a line you cross, that you're crossing that line into prideful behavior, right? So I agree with that 100%. Let me see here. Mo Fresh says a portion. No, first of all, Toby says karma comes in different ways. Look at Babangida, a vegetable. Yeah, that part I disagree. There's a lot of good old people that will become vegetable. Olu Jacobs. Do I need to say any more?
My dad.
There's too many variables. We can't make that conclusive statement, right? But glaringly, you're kind of right, because we saw what Babangida did. But it was also a military ruler. He was supposed to move that way, like he's gonna leave his foot on a lot of people's neck, families that will remember for generations to come. That's the history of the world we live in. The country, I bet the country you are living in right now, right? They still have their foot on some nation's neck in very unfair ways that you're probably just, we're enjoying. At least I am a nurse here, a registered nurse. I'm making
Cuba.
money.
Sorry, can I just make a comment? I don't know who this person is, this Marriott guy. Yeah, he's saying that karma, but are we all alike? Are we not all alike?
Marriott is a lady, by the way.
Whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But the issue
What do you have to say about that? Mm-hmm.
My issue is that you're saying that you don't agree with karma and that there's seemingly good or bad people. Fair enough. But I believe that there's certain energy that you give out that you will get back.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. No one can tell me that. There's cause and effect. And I just believe that. I'm not saying that everyone is perfect or everyone is. I just feel that there's certain decisions you make and you have to just, with your full chest, take responsibility for it.
I think the issues come, right? When the issues come when we generalize and oversimplify. On a person-to-person basis, at certain micro levels, right? We can obviously see that some people are moving mad and they collect mad. How you move, how you treat people is how you be treated, right? But when we get to certain level, then we generalize and make it like a rule. That's where we miss it, right? It's a natural thing for us to do. We generally do that too, by the way. We just generalize off of what we see.
I'm not dragging her because I'm just saying that I didn't understand what she said. I just believe in cause and effect, and a certain energy that you give out that you will get back.
Well, you said whatever. That's not a compliment. Did you not say whatever? No, you guys are good. You guys, but you get what I'm saying. Like when we get to that macro level, then this is where we start having issues. And when people say karma, they project. They look at issues that they don't really know anything about. They generalize and just call it what it is. It's not an issue per se, because at the end of the day, all of us are collecting woto, right? Because somebody's looking at you right now when you step out the door of your house. They look at you, they just judge you. They don't even know you like that. Every time you enter a room, somebody is judging you off of what images and movies they make up in their head. They don't even know you like that. They prejudge you. Right? It could be because your color. It could just be because your color matches somebody in their past, right? So when you now you might say, what is the connection to karma here? What I'm saying is that God forbid your enemy gets hit by a bus and they connected with somebody that looks like that in the past and they are happy. I'm just telling you the overall picture of this idea that we're obsessed with karma. I think we reap what we sow. That's a rule of life as a fact. It is what it is.
Again, right? To be fair on Stella, we don't know what Daniel told her when that whole scenario happened. When no, just listen to me.
No, I agree. These are the questions that I have. It's just funny that you're going there.
We don't know what he told her. That's number one. Number two, probably they started with the bestie thingy, and he will always confide in her what's going on in his house. My wife did this, my wife did that. So he probably gave her the impression that he's not together with his wife and nothing has been going on with them. Maybe I'm just staying there because of the kids. And then all of us.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I agree with that. But as soon as she found out the situation, she should have, I don't know. I don't know the right words.
Do you believe that there are a lot of women?
Let her finish. She should, she's still fantasizing. Go ahead. She should have what? Go ahead. You're right, she should. But human beings don't care. I'm telling you, they just don't. When it's feeling good, they will do all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Including clocking in ahead of time, having people clocking for them, cheat, steal, lie. Am I saying this right? No, I'm saying we agree that people, I need you to set up better systems than expecting human beings to be doing shudu.
Because
shoulda,
you're gonna see some old women that are very naive, and it will be shocking you to your bone marrow that somebody this grown is that naive. Like, are you kidding me?
Even men. Why is this guy remarrying if he's figured it out? It's clearly he hasn't figured something out.
Let me tell you a story about two girls, right? They're sisters. So the sister was telling her sister about someone that was hitting on her that was married. But when the sister was like, ew, why is he gonna do that when he knows that he's married? Both of us just look at the sister like, are you okay? Is that something your own person? She's like, yeah, but he's not supposed to do that. I'm like, excuse me? So there's a high chance. See, have you ever known how rats bite? Do you know how rats bite?
What is that? Yeah, rats, how they bite.
Yes. So the way rat bites that you don't know or you not notice till the morning is because when they are biting you, they are blowing breeze in your hand. When they bite, they blow the place. When they bite, they blow the place. So at the time of the bite, yes, you don't feel that pain until they are done and they've left. That's when now you start feeling the pain and you try to check what has happened to you. So this is
it's like bed bugs. It's like bed bugs biting you, and you're like, where is it?
Yeah, that's the situation of Stella and Daniel. Wow. The rat situation, like biting and blowing your hand. You're not knowing what's going on until he's done, and you're like, oh no, when we're together, I didn't see that. No, because he was biting and blowing.
And not to, I have to spell this out. That doesn't mean we're exonerating Stella from doing the right thing, right? Yeah.
No,
so we're just digging deeper to what potentially create this situation for seemingly good people or people who believe they are good.
Bro,
like she mentions that she'll be crying and her daughters will come in the room. I believe that she believed that she's done nothing wrong. I believe that at least she's told herself that story and justified it. I believe that, and I also believe that she might have been a husband snatcher and justify it with, but he already left. There was nothing going on there.
Remember, you used to tell us too that sometimes a marriage, before a marriage crash, it must have crashed a long time ago. This is
long before.
This is just the building falling down. Like the foundations are chopped off already. Yes, ma'am.
It comes back to what I said. Yes, I agree with you. The marriage probably broke up maybe years ago. Same thing with my mom's marriage with my dad. Probably, what I still believe, maybe I'm naive, open your mouth to say, I don't want to do it again. So everybody can go their separate ways.
Ego no be your mate.
Yeah, we believe the same thing. We're just telling you that for the most
If
part,
go
it's
is
not.
go,
It's
then
probably not gonna happen. Not just because they want to do the wrong thing. It could be that too. There's some manipulators, like Natu was saying earlier. But I think the majority of the chunk are people who are not sure of themselves. When you find yourself in a
exactly. And
funk
sometimes
in
people
a
like that feel
relationship,
like I don't owe you an explanation. That's what people
there,
like that feel.
there are
They
some
feel
people like that. But in the
yeah,
case
come
of a
on.
marriage, some people are patching. There's too many. I don't know if you guys are aware. Too many marriages are just patching things along and
No,
hoping that they'll figure it out one day or something like that.
exactly, and especially
There's
our
plenty
own,
out there, I agree.
especially as our own people, they make you look like
Yeah.
if you leave your marriage, like you're about to pie or you're going straight to hell, even if God forgives you.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So people
Hold
keep
on, hold on a
patching it.
second. Hold on, let me engage the chat for a second. Mo Fresh says a portion on grown men would stay enjoying the benefits of their wife, cooking, cleaning, says, while actively looking for her replacement until one day, out of nowhere, they up and leave. That's minority. I think they exist. I think it's minority. I think most, you guys don't believe this. People
Can
do
I elaborate on what Mo Fresh said?
I'll let you. But you guys may not believe this or agree with me. People do fall on bolas and intokwekus. I don't know. You guys agree with me? They do.
Stop it. Stop.
Okay, I will need context. Another show entirely. Continue. Say what you want to say.
No, oh my God, now I lost my train of thought.
No,
This Mo
you
Fresh-
wanted to expand on Mo Fresh's comments on the screen.
Yeah, oh, I was gonna say that this is a struggle of situation where you
Mm-hmm.
find a woman that's ready to like be down with you because if you make it, we're gonna be good. And then by the time you make it, you feel like, now this lady doesn't fit into this class that I am right now. I need to find somebody that fits into this class that'll be able to represent me outside.
Yeah.
And then they decide to leave you to go for someone else. So at the time they were getting nothing, like you are that girl because you are my girl holding it down, holding the house down.
Yeah.
And now when you're happy to hold the house down, like I don't need you.
Yeah. And the other question, not to discount what Mo Fresh is saying at all, because I do think there are a sector of people like that. Like she said, a portion, right? That portion right there, what is it that they're looking for? It's not another human being in particular that they're looking for. The question is that what is it that they're looking for? Granted, let's call them wrong. They should be grown men and just say what they want. The point is that they can't. Right?
They don't know what they want.
What is it that they are looking for to replace?
They
Because it's
don't
not the
know.
human beings in particular, but there's something that they're looking to replace. And I'll tell you right now, I'll give it to you ladies, because I think this issue has to do with you the most. It's not your job to help them find what they're looking to replace. Your job is to focus on yourself and make sure that you are taking care of yourself for the person that deserves the love that you bring. Okay, that's all you can control anyway. Don't put this thing on yourself where you feel like, because we talked about the void thing a few days ago, and I think a lot of people were responding thinking it's their responsibility to fill voids. Listen, if there's void, it is void. Like Honey Bay said, if you're a grown man, a grown woman, you don't want to do anymore, just say you don't want to do anymore. We sort it out from that point, right? But the truth is that when it comes down to void, as like a whole void, and it's a person, a partner, a wife, a husband is actively trying to replace you, they probably should replace you so you can finally have peace of mind. You can't force these things, you know. Now, if you're going to help any issues, if it's an issue that you could indirectly fix by any stretch of your imagination, then it will happen by working on yourself. Just put all that focus back on yourself. What does that mean? Self-improvement, self-development, taking care of yourself, body, soul, mind, spirit, all of that, right? If you're hot enough in this marketplace, you will be just fine. You'll be fine. And also, sometimes one door needs to close before another one opens. And sometimes you won't close it unless somebody else closes it for you. Because you're a coconut head too. You can see the signs, but you are just, until that person closes it for you. So I'm just letting you know right now, don't dwell in the what is it question, unless we're having a conversation like this. The it is you. You are the it factor. Refocus all that energy back on yourself. Hold on 1 second, ladies, before I come back to you for the last words here. Miss Lulu said, how do we know that Ekweremadu's daughter ailment is karma? People get sick every day regardless of status and behavior. That's what I'm saying. It's just a question, right? She left herself wide open when she mentioned karma. Yep. It's like, eat me up. right? That's Stella, right? Don't say things that you have that you feel like is your insecurity and stuff. Don't, if you know that you're not ready to be dragged, don't say it out, because people will take it from there and help you. With all the money in the world, they still can't buy health. Yeah, that's life. Stella collected the woto of Daniel not breaking things off with properly with Doris. Yes, that is more of a very accurate what happened in those years ago.
MOP.
Yes.
Just to chip in, and this is where you talk about power.
Yeah.
And that's why when people were blaming her that she didn't tell him what to do, not to take the child away from his mother. Other people was like, how do you know she didn't tell him? If she had that much power and know who she is, she has some certain level of influence to make Daniel like respect the other woman just because he's with her.
That's true, but if you're watching Daniel's behavior, Daniel's
but that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if you know yet.
And that's the more reason why it's a red flag for her not to be with him.
Not to be okay. Well, she won't listen, of course.
One of my aunties,
she's a coconut head.
One of my aunties is a Christian, and she married someone and she was the second wife. But at that time, she liked the guy when he was separated with his wife, and she really liked the guy. And the guy has other kids with the other woman. Do you know that because of how much he loved my auntie made him bring back the first wife. He can't buy my auntie a gift without buying for the first wife. And for that reason, even when the guy, she married my auntie and he died after a year. When the guy died, the first wife let my auntie stay together with her in the same house until she sorted herself out to be able to move out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if Stella would have come in with that power, no matter how manipulative that guy, there are some things that should be able to break. Let's just stop it.
Right. If we want to focus on Stella, right? I would need to particularly find out what she's complaining about, right? I guess it's the karma stuff, right? Like what specifically is she asking questions about? She's not asking any questions. She's just talking, right?
But when she made that statement, do you know what she's pained about?
Yeah.
She's pained about people don't know the true story, and because of the party involved, she can't come out to say that she's sad. But I'm telling you, there's more to that story. Exactly.
Yeah. People
that's just the point.
Yeah. So that's why she needs to take her attention off of the whole karma thing, because if you want to tell the story, tell the story. By the way, if you tell the story, people will only pay attention to the part they can use to drag you, just in case you don't know yet. Listen, they don't care.
Stella and Judy, I don't think they will ever like those two people.
You said they know what?
I don't think they will ever like them.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but it won't be by Shalaye.
To what?
By
To
disengaging.
do what?
Work. Not Judy. I don't know about Judy. Judy has no work. I'm talking about Stella. Stella has work. If she put all that energy into that work and refocus, people are also very forgiving. I don't know if you know.
The relationship coach?
No, work from that we know her for. Actress. As an actress now. Just being the best. Hollywood. Being the best crier in Hollywood back in those days. If she refocus all that energy back in that world and bury herself in it, people forgive and forget. They do. As much as they drag you and they don't care about your story, people forgive and forget too. If you have work like that, equity, right? People will move on. It's something goes for you. If you stop the stupid stories that they are perpetuating themselves, all that work is a lot. The impact you leave on people is much larger than what you can say with your mouth. That's always true. The case of Judy is that the impact she left on people is just, that's what we're seeing right now. We don't know her like that, right? But the impact, people will never forget, and people will they will reconverge back to it once you let them reflect back on that, right? And stop trying to do Shalaye or explaining yourself, you know. But let me see here. Just Jay, I also believe in that school of thought. I believe what goes around comes around. Law of reciprocity. You get back what you give. Yeah, in general, I agree with that. When we bring it down to karma as bad things happening to bad people only, I think it's cap. Big time cap.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, I think bad things. Do I need to tell you that bad things happen to good people? Do I need to prove that? Not to Honeybee. That bad things happen to good people.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so the common stuff. I'm just saying I have questions. That's all. But let me get some last word from you, ladies. Who wants to go first?
Can I go first? Because I need to go. But yeah.
Sure, because you need to go to bed too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that for me personally, I think she just needs to keep quiet. No one was snatched. He's a big crafty man. He knew what he was doing. For me personally, she just needs to just keep quiet. You know, just deal with it and just move on.
Yeah.
Just like I said, be happy for the third wife and just move on.
Right? I don't know, man. That one, I just pity that one. But anyway, we don't know what we don't know. Maybe she's the one that will show him shaggy.
The thing is, there's no way she don't know his history, and this is what I'm saying. I mean,
Right.
I've been divorced before, so obviously, if I'm going to be remarried again,
That's
I'm going to
true.
use my common sense and,
That's true.
you know, common sense and be more careful. I mean, that's what a
Right.
normal person does. Any woman that decides to marry someone that's been married 2-3 times and you don't research, you deserve all the happiness in the world with that guy.
Right. So we just kind of hope that they know what they're doing, basically.
She knows what she's doing because there's no way she doesn't know his history.
Well, let me
So-
share this with you.
I mean, she knows his history, but she's probably naive or oblivious. Just
No,
one.
it's not naive. It's like she thinks she can change. Like I said, Sister Nati, what I said in Auntie B's thing. She knows exactly. She knows what's the down low.
She knows
But
what's
she
better.
believes that she's the one that will change him.
Chosen.
Now,
She
what
believes
do you,
she's the one that
do
can
you know?
change him, which is fine. That it will be different with her. That the first wife, the second wife. No, I'm special. I will change him. Good luck to her.
All right. So the rates of second and third marriages: second marriage is 67%, third marriage is 74%, according to McLean Law Group. Right? Why do you think that is? That's as compared to 41%.
Wait, can you say that again?
The rate of second marriage divorces, 67%. Third marriage divorces, 74%. End in divorce.
Because people rush in and out. Just with Daniel is doing it.
As opposed to 41% first marriages.
Yeah. People just rush in
Sister
and
Nat,
out.
I agree with Sister Natu because I've been divorced almost 5 years. I'm not in a rush to be remarried because I believe that if I'm going to remarry again, I want to make sure that it's going to be permanent. But some people, like Sister
You're gonna do your best.
Natu are saying, they literally rush in. They haven't even signed. They're already in another relationship. Are you serious? And so they rush into these relationships, and you rush in, you rush out.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's obviously we're just looking at the data. You know, as far as that's generally concerned, I do think that people generally point fingers when they end up in that kind of situation. So they spend all their energy pointing fingers, majority of the energy pointing fingers, than re-engaging and say, hey, what was it that made me a common denominator in this? And I think it's a natural thing. So it takes a person to be intentional and say, you know what, this number is this number for a reason. If I'm not careful, I probably will fall in that same number too. Let me make sure that, you know, I engage the part of it about me that attracted that situation, right? Even if there's none, but at least make sure you assess that, you know. But most people don't even look at that. They just think the last person was the bad person and they move on to the next person. And they made that like some kind of almost absolute, right? Particularly in actions, not necessarily what they will admit they're doing, you know. Like their action basically says, you know what, I can do better, you know. But then they also generally don't have any problem attracting marriage, obviously, because they've proven that, right? So the next time somebody says they want to marry them or they see a wife, they jump into it. They're like, you know, maybe this is the best one. And usually it's a comparison between that new person and the old. Naturally, right? It's just hard not to compare, right? This is what we're saying earlier when we say it's a lot of people also paint their exes as bad not because they want to, but what they remember, their experience is their experience. So it takes a certain level of intentionality to say, back off of that. What did I learn from that? So that situation was a blessing. What did I learn from it though that I don't want to repeat, you know? And I think that's a big part of it. And I brought that up because, you know, we're looking at third marriages in this situation, right? So we know that Stella, that was her third marriage that fell apart. This dude, this is his third marriage. So based off of numbers that we know right now, and they're in the America, we know that there's a 73% chance that they won't last. It doesn't mean they won't last. That's just what the number says, right? Are they willing to look at that number squarely in the face and say, that's interesting, let's make sure we're safe? Or are they going to be dismissive about that number and be like, yeah, that would never be us in Jesus' name? What do you think they probably will most likely do, if you were to guess?
I just wanted to say that everything you're saying does make sense, because I'm supposed to be the accountability prefect. But I mean, when my marriage broke up, I had to take accountability that there were things that I did wrong, as well as what he did wrong. And we've come to a place, because we have a child together, where all I would say that he wasn't the best husband, but he's a very good father. So you have to get to a place where you have to take accountability and look at yourself, that what is it that I did wrong in that marriage? Because sometimes we're too quick to blame the other person. And maybe the person, your ex-partner was maybe not the greatest, but did you think about the fact that what did you contribute to make that relationship not work? And sometimes we really need to have a real look in ourselves to realize that, if you don't deal with that residue of things that you haven't dealt with, you're going to pass it on to the next marriage, and you'll be married 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And because you've never dealt with your issues, you'll be a multiple, do marriages left, right, center 10, 20 times. So I think that is definitely something that I am I'm working on myself, and that's the reason why, even though I'm in another relationship, I'm not in any rush to marry, because I feel that I'm not in a place where I have dealt with certain things. Time. Yeah, I don't want to be divorced 3 or 4 times. I'm not doing 3 marriages. It's just not for me. So I think that some people need to really look at themselves, check themselves before they now decide I want to be married. Again.
Yeah. And that's easier said than done, but we need to say it.
It is. It's a work. I'm a work in progress. I'm saying all these at the same time. I'm trying to do it as well.
Awesome. Honeybee, thank you so much for coming up. I know it's late on your end. You're welcome anytime. Okay.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
Natu, my G. What's your last word on this?
I'm just gonna
wait. Natu, before you go. Some Miss Amores has been in the back here. Hello, Miss Amor.
Hi, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't know that you were back there. Oh my God.
It's okay.
You should have said something. Let me go with you first before I go to Natu. I know you had some things you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, I think everyone has said everything. I think with this whole Stella situation, I'm a huge fan of Stella.
Oh, you are?
I am. I'm a huge fan. Well, you see, where she messed up was not getting the timelines right. Right? I think that I've been there before, especially when you're dating someone that is just getting out of the relationship. It's tricky.
Yeah.
And it's tricky, yeah, because it's complicated when it's a divorcee. I'm in my mid-30s, so I've dated guys that are, divorcees, single dads and stuff, right? So the last, one of my exes that I dated, it was something similar to this, right? Where he just, it was separated. And
separated today, back together tomorrow, confused today.
Not that one. Not that one. It was more of, so let me explain. Let me shalaye. It was more of, he was, sorry, I'm going to ask some questions. So I'm saying from there. Okay.
Yeah, so make sure your mouth is not too close to your mic so I can hear you clearer or something. It sounds a little muffled, Yeah.
Excuse me. Because I'm walking, so kind of excited. Yeah. So the situation was more of he had been divorced for like a couple of like a year, separated for like a year. Well, you know how Nigerian system is, right? To get that divorce takes time, especially when you're trying to do the asset thing and stuff. So it was going on for too long, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to this, blah 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 blah. Right. And to cut the long story short, I mean, he convinced my friends, my sisters, don't worry, it's okay. But to me, I was like, I don't really like the idea that the ink is not dry. Like, it feels weird. It's not, it's like,
So
it's not,
fresh.
it's still, yeah, even though you've been separated for a long time, and I had people to confirm that they had been separated for a long time.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
but the thing that was always at the back of my mind was because something happened, right? So let me go to the end. Why one of the reasons why we broke up was, let's just say I stumbled on something on his phone, and I realized that there were still people in the talks of him reuniting back with his wife. So and I stumbled on that, and I was like, like, this is weird. And for me, the timeline, even though legitly, like, I would say this from my confirmations, I knew that he was done. But
was done.
some people will look at it as, no, they were still reuniting, they were still in the talk. So it's like, people are not getting the full scope of things. And me at the same time, because he cannot tell me everything that he wants to tell me, right? Because he's trying to put that in a way. He's also
Trying
not
to
going
protect you too.
Exactly. So I told myself, I'm not aware of something. So with Stella, when she messed up, I would say was the ink did not dry. So, and because the ink did not dry, there's a way you will just farabale, just look away. The history is shaky. Stella will come out and be like, my babe. She didn't even used to call him her husband. It was when they announced their separation that I realized that they were married. She used to call him partner.
Partner,
So
for a long time.
For a long time. So I'm just like, not that, everything I've violent now. We've now see
Stella
that
was trying to be woke.
she was trying to be woke. And I think she was also very in love. She was in love, and she just, with her full chest, let me come out, let me talk, let me kidney. And unfortunately,
because it's not as enjoyable if you can't just be free and be yourself in that relationship.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll now say is, I agree with Auntie B when she said what Stella did about the child was not good. My situation too as well. He had a child, right? And this is where I would say, like, I'm not going to pay. I see the only saint here in this situation is stories. Everybody should chop water. But at the same time, let me layer these stories again. And I'm not trying to be biased. So I'm not trying to spill something on Doris.
Just speak your mind. It's okay.
Let me just say what's on my mind, right? So this ex of mine that I was dating, he wasn't perfect. Right.
I hope not.
He was not perfect. Right? Yeah. But the wife, let me not lie, she was a Mongo Park. And
the wife was a Mongo Park. Okay.
It was confirmed. It was confirmed, right?
Okay.
It's not like I'm just like, no, he just told me. No, I knew that this thing, right? But here's the thing. There's a lot that goes on in custody battles, right?
Yes.
And sometimes some women use the child as a pawn. Like, they use it as that thing that you are using to move the guy up and down the place. It's true.
Yes.
Sometimes we do. And it's not because they want the person back, but it's just so that you feel the pain that you've inflicted on me.
Yes.
Right? Now, so here's the thing, which is what gets tricky. And I'm not saying this is the situation with Daniel.
Right.
But could it be? This is just me throwing, because we're all assuming things about Stella. Can we assume some things about Doris? Right? Could it be?
but be careful. But try. But go for it.
I know. People are gonna hate me. They're like, oh, really?
Because you're a Stella fan, I'm giving you bombastic side eye.
She already told on herself before, but be careful. Continue. Let's assume some things about Doris.
Let's assume, right? Like I said, to me, Doris is still the saint here.
Yes.
Now and even if she decided to use the child as something, let's not lie, it's painful to see your guy walk away and move on with somebody else. It's painful.
Yes.
It's painful. And then you people are now choking it in my eyes. Like, man, because I want to have some sense of control of something. Yeah, you might, like you say, emotions are more powerful than logic sometimes. You know,
all the time.
Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be?
Could it be?
Yeah, could it be? Like, you know, because okay, just shut up. Don't go.
You will get disconnected if you don't could it be finish yo. Could it be waiting?
Say it.
Could it be right? Could it be where this situation was just like, okay, he was trying to, it could just have been a complicated custody process that he eventually might make the decision.
But how complicated could it be in Nigeria? Is it not as simple as the husband?
He probably used Stella to leave Doris so he can move on to a better life.
Well, which is true. I agree with that. But it can't, like this thing, because I've dated someone with a very complicated thing.
I agree with you that custody, because even here in the US, people weaponize it against themselves all the time.
Yes.
They will travel across the state because they want a different new life. They want a fresh start because they want and the guys say, well, you can't take my baby across the state line. And in fact, eventually they will have to involve the court. And they say, why did you take him to court? Because you're taking my baby from Atlanta to Alabama all the time, and I don't know about it. And that's kidnapping on paper. That's kidnapping, right? So this happens all the time.
It happens all the time because now look now in the end, now the child is with the mom right now. It could have been something that could have been sorted, but because of ego and pride on his side, right? I want to feel like, okay, and to me I wonder about what is the origin of that ego and pride. Like, why do you feel the need? Because you didn't have to do that. You know, the fact that even when the child got here and the child was sorted, you didn't even allow the child to go back home to visit. Right?
Was it allowed or they couldn't afford? We don't know that either.
They could have. Stella did a movie in Nigeria. Yeah, I follow Stella, so I know. She did a movie in Nigeria a couple of years after they were
now it's back on Stella. I'm talking about him. Could he afford it? Could he afford it? Daniel himself.
He could. How much is tickets? He could.
Yeah, maybe he's afraid that if the baby come back to Nigeria with the conduct that she gave before, when going to the blog and saying they kidnapped the child, maybe he's afraid she won't let the child come back again. There's too many emotions that would have happened there, is my point.
But it could have been, exactly. But it could have, and I said this a lot of times, it could have been handled well. Now, this is where Stella again messed up. I believe there's a power that you have as a woman, especially with matters like this. To be able to be like, you know what, if this is how you're going to do, this is not it. I'm a woman. Sometimes a lot of us as women, when we get into relationships, we forget that we are women. I said, we do sometimes. And for me, in my own case, and I use myself as an example, he wanted to take the child out of and basically kidnap his child, right? And I literally said, if you did that, that's the end of our relationship. Because I can't fathom the idea
of somebody taking your child,
being the mother to somebody else's child, and the mother is crying somewhere. And I had to make him explain, because his defense was like, boy, it's my child. Like, she's not letting me see my child. For instance, she took his child all the way to the UK. Across somewhere, and he was like, why would you do that? And she said, you know what, I would take it. She literally, I remember I was on a phone conversation with him, and with her, and I was listening, and she literally threatened that I would take him to the ends of the earth where you will not have access to him. And the guy was like literally breaking down to me, be like, man, like, I should just take my child. And I was like, see, I know it's painful, I know it's bad, but I cannot fathom an idea of me being the second mother to your child, knowing that the child knows who his mother is, and I'm
and doesn't
here.
have
Therefore,
access, doesn't have free flow of access. It's to mess
I
with you.
cannot, it will mess with me. And, you know, and I
Yeah.
think this was the second place where Stella messed up. Like, she should have not, you have your own kids. You can't even drop those children with your husband, your late husband's family. So why would you sit down, right? No matter what
And
the
tolerate
history,
that and be okay with that. So
I'll be
being
okay
okay
with that.
with that. Okay.
No,
I hear
that to
you.
me was where those were the two places where she messed up. The beginning of the story and how she conducted herself, and you know, coming on social
With
media.
regards to the custody
Yeah,
and then talking about
that
it
was where you messed up.
indirectly,
That's where you messed
yeah.
up. That's where you messed up. So
I
that's
hear you.
my contribution.
Don't be a stranger, eh? Call him from time to time.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
right. Bye bye. Yep. All right. Natu, you don't come back. Abi, should I just round up? By the way, you can grab the book for free at loveandprestige.com. And also, let me share this with you really quickly. If you're in the New York area this weekend, I'll be hanging out with Natu and her crew with Pastor Kingsley, Pastor Mildred in New York City, Staten Island. You know, so I posted this on the community page. You can scan that, get a ticket, and all that kind of stuff. You know, so that's awesome. All right, let me see here. We have somebody commenting, trying to sell viewership from Twitch. We're live streaming on Twitch, by the way. All right, so yeah, if you're in the New York area, try to come catch up with us on that platform on Saturday. It's going to be all day. I think it starts at 12 noon or something like that. But anyway, it's posted on the community page of our channel on YouTube. All right, so let me do this. I'm gonna just not to say I'll be right back, but we're just gonna drop her. She's contributed well enough today. Let's do this. Let me give some last words, okay? But let me go to some of the I started some comments from Toby. Toby, I always find your comments interesting. Shout out to you. She said, I wish people knew what it is like to be in a relationship with a narcissist. They are first-class manipulators. They are adept at playing the power game. I haven't proved it yet. I haven't proven it yet. I'm willing to argue and go into studies to prove that we're all narcissistic in one way, shape, or the other. We have one trait or two or three that we're carrying. Right? Because at the end of it, it kind of like goes back to, if you notice what people call narcissism, it's some kind of selfish move or ways of manipulating, trying to be controlling directly or indirectly. But when we do get to it, we'll get to it, just to, maybe we can slow down a little bit on the narcissism thing. I do think it's real. I do think the way we say it is almost like we diagnose people with MPD, the psychological disorder. And I'm not sure if that helps anyone, especially if most people are walking around with one trait or the other, right? It's like if you look close enough, you'll find a little bit of narcissistic trait in even your children sometimes, They are first-class manipulators. They are adept at playing the power game. And I also think it's a sickness. I think it comes more so from a weak place, not necessarily a power place, right? Meaning it's not exactly intentional, yet destructive, still destructive, but not necessarily intentional. And people can cope. If people can come to a place of awareness that I have a tendency, I think they can cope, So that's something I would probably pay more attention to than, so I think most adults have been in one relationship or the other where you're feeling like the other person is not listening to you. They're being abusive in their ways or manipulative, or they don't listen, they never apologize and stuff like this. Somebody, I guarantee you right now, because they feel like somebody never apologizes, they feel like that person is manipulative and being a narcissist. She says, true, we're all on a spectrum. Some are higher, lower than others. So yeah, so I think a lot of people, they pick up that spectrum, which is, it feels abusive on your end, right? So they engage that and they shut down, and it's kind of hard to come back from that, especially if you're consuming a lot of content around that. This is the second comment that you made also that I wanted to speak on. Best thing Stella can do is not talk about Daniel and Doris. Exactly. Because those things with respect, I said things, those people with respect to her career and the way she needs to move forward represent negative. The only thing she should say is like, that's my ex-husband. That was a journey. I'm appreciative of that journey. We're in a new place. I'm divorced. I'm looking forward to the future. That thing I just said right there is so difficult for people to say. It's such a difficult thing to say. And I understand, because especially if you remember very negative moments or feelings or emotions that happened while you're in it, it's difficult to now, it will look like you're exonerating them. It will look like you're giving them a free pass. It will look like you're not calling a spade a spade. But honestly, that's the best way to move forward, ultimately. So I agree with you. Focus solely on her project. Yes, there cannot be a vacuum. She needs to engage purpose-driven projects that she will be able to discuss in place of that. Because if she doesn't, she will find herself back talking about these things in what she will just need to do. Like, for example, all this drag in the past 24, 48 hours, she might have urges to do shalaye, and it's just gonna get bad. It's gonna get worse. She might not get the love of the public back, but she will get her respect, and that's all that really matters. Because these people don't know you anyway, right? That's all that matters. Just And then Mo Fresh says, if memory serves me correctly, Daniel claimed Doris was somewhat maltreating the boy and some sort of mental issues. Obviously, I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, I think Toby mentioned that earlier too, that he said there must have been some things before. We don't know, right? But I have some videos that I will take some time to watch. If there's still more to it, I will bring it back to the surface and then we'll talk about it, right? But the truth is that this man was done with those situations, both Doris and Stella, and he moved on, and we don't know the story from his standpoint. And we don't necessarily need to know the story, okay? We don't need to. We only need to know what they're saying, which is what Stella has said, which is, I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything. Yeah, right. You knew exactly what was going on. And whatever it was, you kept quiet about it. And while I understand why you kept quiet about it, it's better to keep quiet forever on this type of issues and focus back. And marriages end for good people. Keep that at the back of your mind. That this is karma? No, that's cap. Big time. I don't agree this is karma. I know this is unpopular opinion. I get it. But my conclusion is that this is not karma, okay? Bad marriages will end, regardless of if you're good people or not. Most marriages that are bad, that are ending, they are ending because they are bad in the first place. But most marriages that end up in divorce, all those people in the divorce court will claim to be good people, right? And some of them we have close enough friends that will vouch for them and say, yeah, it's a good guy, it's a good girl, it just didn't work out, right? And some of them are toxic as shit. Okay, it is what it is, right? But I think there are more good people in the divorce court than we would like to admit. We would like to feel like it's all karma. That's not how this world works. The way the world works is power, okay? The best player always win. The best, being the worst player on the field doesn't mean you're a bad person. You just don't know what you don't know. The psychology plays a role, obviously, mental, emotional, right? The social environment that we live in, the kind of influences you have that surrounds you, the one you have on other people, right? And, so many variables. There's just too many things, right? Don't allow these pastors to keep using you to eat because you are praying for someone to catch karma. That's all I'm telling you, okay? Because there's always a market for that too, but you can rise above that and just focus on your own life and choose to make the most out of your own life. Focus on your own life. Make the cards you are dealt. At the end of the day, you have limited time here, okay? You have limited time here. Don't spend it waiting on karma or waiting for karma. If you don't catch the karma when it gets here, it's pointless. If we can have a few questions around what you consider karma, it becomes pointless outside of just the cruise of this content, right? It becomes pointless, okay? But karma consumes energy. Waiting for karma will consume your energy. It's energy away from other things you can focus on. Just be okay with life sometimes. Life happenings. Marriage ended. It didn't work out. Yes, it's my 4th, 5th, 6th marriage. It is what it is. I'm good at attracting people. I'm terrible at keeping them, right? Custody issues. Unfortunately, that will affect the children, but that's part of life. The only thing you can control is what are you going to do with what you have today? What are you going to do? And are you spending too much energy trying to police your environment, trying to be a moral police? It's just a question that you should ask yourself. Make sure you're not doing that, right? Because that's energy away from building yourself, right? So that's all I have for you today. Do me a favor, as you're getting out, as you're going out, hit that like button, share and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. This was another hit session. What's today? Wednesday. I think I'll be back tomorrow. I think we have some things to talk about tomorrow. I have some videos too that I will drop later on tonight, so look out for that if you're still awake. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.